Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about kind of a fun subject for guys. Tampo. It's not one of the funnest subjects, actually. Anyway, Tampo is when, for you guys that are new to Tampo is when a Filipina girl gives you the silent treatment because she's mad at you. And it could go on for minutes, hours, days, weeks, whatever she decides. And sometimes it's to get her own way. Sometimes it's just to let you know that she's really pissed off at you, just to say the least. If you find a girl that has Tampo, let me just say this. And if she pulls this on you often, sometimes some girls are going to do it once in a while. It's just the way it is. It happens with American girls, happens with Western girls, Canadian, UK, what have you. In the Philippines, it's given a name because it can be common sometimes, okay? And let me just say this, from somebody that comes from a background as a therapeutic mentor, when communication breaks down between people, it's very damaging to a relationship. Because when the conversation is not going back and forth between you and your mate, your girlfriend, your wife, then the relationship just there's nothing left. If it's a temporary thing, yeah, we can kind of deal with it as men because we kind of expect that from women because women are different than us, and a lot of guys, they just won't put up with it all. It's like, okay, I'm done. They don't care if it's 5 minutes or 2 days. They're done with it. You know what I mean? And we kind of have to kind of meet like in the middle there, unless it's a regular thing with the woman over here. We shouldn't be dealing with that. And you should try to talk to the girl first and say, hey, listen, if you're gonna pull that, and this is my way of dealing with it, then say, look, if you're gonna pull that, then this relationship's not gonna work because communication is already broken down and it's null and void. You know, because we're not having conversation going back and forth, and this isn't a 50-50 relationship. It's not working. It's you want it either your way or it's the highway, you know, or you're going to give me the silent treatment. That's not a relationship. So what I tell people is when you start seeing Tampo in a relationship, and this is why you don't want to get married to a girl like that. Some of you guys that are talking to me online through email and stuff like that, some of you guys have to be careful, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's my thing on this. Some of you guys have been talking to a girl for a year or two, and you think because you're talking to a girl online that you know that girl. And unless you've been with that girl for at least a little while, or you've dated her, whatever, you really don't know that girl except from what you see online. And it's easier for her to hide things online because you're not on the ground with her. You're not doing things with her. Yeah, you're talking to her. I used to talk to my girlfriend 6-7 hours a day sometimes on weekends, you know, sometimes longer, you know, and we used to talk all the time. When I got here, yeah, there was some different things, you know, but we still got along and everything's okay. I mean, we're not perfect, you know, but we get along really well, and you know, we have our feuds and our fights just like every other couple. You know, that's normal to a certain extent. You know, should it be normal? Well, sometimes it is. You know, to have like an argument or something like that. Is life perfect? No, it's not. You know what I mean? But for the most part, our relationship is really, really good. You know, and we have a really good relationship and we get along really well. Does Tampo become a part of it? I've actually talked with her about that. We don't usually have like a Tampo relationship because my girlfriend is usually the type that she'll tell you where the dog died. And I actually kind of appreciate that sometimes because I'd rather have that and at least you're having a conversation than have the Tampo where you don't have any communication going on. And I was in a relationship like that before, and it wasn't a Filipino either. It was a Spanish girl, and she was from the Dominican Republic, and she would go silent on me for weeks. She wouldn't talk to me. She wouldn't tell me things. If I asked her a question, she'd give me very vague answers. It was kind of like Tampo with a little bit of talk, okay? And we've all gone through that. Anybody that's 50 years old, you've probably been in a relationship or had a girlfriend or maybe even a wife or whatever that was like that. You know, like they'll give you very little information, but not the information you're looking for because you're trying to find out information to figure out what's going wrong, what's happening here. Or maybe you're trying to get information on something whatever it may be. Doesn't matter what it is, but you need that information to try to fix a problem or whatever. Fix a problem in your relationship. Fix a problem with financial problem or something like that. And your girlfriend's not giving you the answers that you need because she knows you need that information. She's not going to give it to you because she wants to be mean to you or whatever, because you're gonna get paid back for whatever. That's her view on it. It's a very immature way of looking at things. And Tampo is a very immature way of dealing with things. Okay? Now, if you run into a girl over here and she's giving you the Tampo treatment more than you think is fair, it might be time to just end that relationship. Don't invest too much in a relationship in the beginning because it could go sour. Because you could run into one of those people, you know? So in the beginning, take it easy. A lot of guys that come over here, they jump right in on the relationship. They're all in 100%. They're all about spending money on these women and stuff like that. And I say, go slow, man. Slow down. Slow down. You know, take it easy. You know, if this girl doesn't work out, you can go on to the next and find another decent girl. There's plenty here. You know, it's not like you have to get the first one that you come across over here in the Philippines just because she's beautiful and good looking. There's plenty more here. There's plenty of fish in the sea here. You know, and they're looking for you too. You know, and it's not that hard. And a lot of guys, they didn't get that attention back in the U.S., you know. But what you need to know is this. In the beginning, that's the honeymoon phase. Later on, you might get the Tampo phase. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all women are like that, because I'm not about stereotyping women. But sometimes it happens, and you have to be aware that it could happen to you. You know, because a lot of guys don't comprehend the idea that in the beginning the girl's gonna be treating you the best because she really wants you. She knows she wants that Western style family. She wants that money. She wants that security. She wants all that stuff. And men look for something else, and you know what I'm talking about. And as long as the man's getting that, he's not looking at anything else. He's not looking at all the other stuff, you know. And you need to stop and think sometimes. Let this head work rather than, you know, other things, you know. And be careful, guys, because if you get involved in one of those Tampo relationships, you're gonna really, really regret it, because it's a rough life with Tampo going on in the household. It's not fun. By any means is it any fun. You know, and is it really common in the Philippines? No, I wouldn't say it's really common, but it's common enough that you want to have your eyes wide open for it. Okay, guys? And that's all I want to say. We've had this talk a long time ago when I first started my channel. We talked about Tampo before. And I wanted to have this talk again because I'm going back to all my old videos every once in a while, and I'll grab that subject matter and I'll redo it and add some new stuff to it. And rediscuss it and go through it again, because we have a lot of new guys on here. They're not going back to my old videos, and I did want to cover this subject, guys, just because of that. But be aware of Tampo. Know what it is. Learn about it. You know, and when you see it happen, and have a talk with your girlfriend, say, hey, listen, I'm not going to tolerate this. If you're going to pull this Tampo stuff, then that's the end. You know, and make sure that it happens before you get married, guys, that you make that decision. Get to know the girl first. You start seeing Tampo, bye. And make sure it's not you. Take a look at yourself, too, because sometimes you might be making a mistake and causing that Tampo. You know, take a look inward to yourself sometimes, too. It's not always the girl, guys. I know us guys, we have like this. We tend to kind of dominate relationships sometimes. We just do. Not all of us, but some of us do, in some cases, dominate relationships. And a lot of expats that come over here, they like to be dominant in the relationship. And I see them, they're talking to the girl like she's a little girl or something like that. And you have to be careful of that, guys. You know what I mean? Filipinos are very sweet. And sometimes we think of them as like little girls or something like that. And we shouldn't be thinking of them like that. A lot of Filipinos are very shy sometimes. They're very quiet. A lot of Filipinos are like that. Don't take advantage of that sweetness, because otherwise it'll come back to haunt you later on if you take advantage of that. Respect that sweetness. Respect that shyness. You know, respect it. Treat her with a lot of love. Okay? And then she won't mistreat you later on. You know, because you get what you give. If you give disrespect, you're going to get disrespect back. You know, and that might come back in the form of Tampo or something else. Who knows? But I just want to talk about that, guys. We usually don't talk about, you know, relationship subjects on here. It's not one of my favorite subjects to talk about on here. But I did want to talk about this. We did talk about stereotypes the other day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this. It's kind of a subject that nobody really wants to get into too much, but it's a subject I wanted to touch on to let the newbies know that there is something over here and you need to look out for it. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.